Welcome. For the time being, I'll call you a nominee until you introduce yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Nominee, you are appearing before the appointment committee of the County Assembly of Homa Bay, charged with the responsibility of vetting the nominees that were forwarded to us by access to the governor in accordance with requirements of the law. You are appearing as a member, to be vetted as a member of the selection panel that will be charged with responsibility of recruiting the County Public Service Board CEO or the Secretary. So that's how you are here, why you are here. So I want to introduce the team. We have the members of the County Assembly who are members of the appointment committee and the staff that are attached to that committee. So I'll start by introducing myself. Julius Odhiambo Gaya, the Speaker of the County Assembly and the Chair of the Appointment Committee. We are provided with writing materials there that you can use. And make sure you suggest you supply him with water. Yeah. I'll proceed to give.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Richard Ogendo, the majority leader of this county assembly and the deputy chair of this committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Honorable Jeff Fongoro, member of appointment committee, member representing Kanyalu Ward.
Nicholas, a member of appointment committee.
Yeah, committee 100 members, but there's a secretariat attached to this committee. I want to allow the secretary to introduce themselves.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. I'm Stephen Ojako, Deputy Clerk in charge of Legislative and Procedural Services.
Next.
I am Verotin, Deputy Clerk in charge of Committee Services.
Next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Peter Dika, Chief Sergeant at Arms.
Next in line.
Thank you, Chair. I am Lois Kabaraka, Public Relations Officer.
Benjamin Omogi, Sergeant at Arms.
I'm Felix Onyango, Sergeant at Arms.
Next, the sign language interpreter.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Stephen Omondi Otieno, sign language interpreter, Hansard Department.
And with us here are the members of the County Assembly Hansard team who are covering this exercise live. And apart from that, we are members of the Fourth Estate from KBC TV covering us live, and there are other members who are sitting at the press gallery from various media houses in this Republic of Kenya. So, Mr. Nominee, please briefly introduce yourself to members of this committee by stating your place of birth, date, the residence, your marital status, academic background, experience, and any other important information about you that will help us determine your suitability to this position of the member of the selection panel. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and the distinguished members of the appointment committee. It is my pleasure to appear before you this day, the day of 15th day of August, the year 2024. My names are Kenneth Pundo Okech. I hail from this great county of Homa Bay, sub-county Ndiwa, from Kanyidoto. I was born in Kisumu the year 1967, the 28th day of December. I went to school in Kakamega in my formative years. I did my nursery school in Kakamega. Shortly thereafter, I joined Kakamega Township, did my class 1 to class 3. Then joined my father, who was a teacher, when he was posted to Kisumu Boys. I joined Shah Primary School, from where I completed my KCPE. From there, I went to Kisumu Boys briefly. I was attached to my dad, and my dad used to want me to be close to him. He was a maths teacher at Kisumu Boys before he briefly went to UK for further studies. Then I joined Onjiko High School. From Onjiko High School, I did my 4th form. Then transited to Nyangori Boys High School for my A-levels, where I also performed exceptionally well and joined the University of Nairobi at the Faculty of Law. At the University of Nairobi, I did my stint for 3 years for the undergraduate course of LLB. Upon successful conclusion of the same, I joined Kenya School of Law, where I equally successfully pursued a diploma in law and was admitted to the bar. Thereafter, I joined LG Menezes, an advocate firm in Kisumu, where I did my holding of and pupillage, and that was my first port of call in terms of employment. After two years brief with Mr. Menezes, I joined Ombije Osuna Advocates, where I was active in litigation. Then I also went to Rajni Somaya, worked also as an advocate. Then formed my own firm, Ken Pund and Company Advocates, for which I've been a partner till to date. So briefly, I'm a lawyer by profession. And that is my work journey or odyssey until today that was invited to come before you. So before you, I'm Mr. Pundo, partly resident in Kisumu, and also having roots in this great country of Homa Bay. Mr. Speaker, if that would suffice for the moment, that would capture my 56 years journey from the date of birth to the present date. I'm married to one wife. I have 3 kids. They're in Nairobi, though I stay in Kisumu. And my work experience from the time of admission to the role of advocate is 28 years solid years of non-interrupted litigation work. I think that would...
Thank you, Mr. Pundo.
Am I audible enough?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
We
Thank
can
you so
get you.
much. Yep.
Unless you want us to adjust them.
No, it's okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
I thought I was a bit low. I could probably adjust to suit your ears.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Pundo, as a lawyer
Yes.
of the High Court of Kenya,
Yes.
as advocate, yes, advocate of the High Court of Kenya, you are very much conversant with the matters constitution.
Of course, yes.
There's the famous chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
Yes.
Before we take you further, can you please submit to us any document that you may have as concerning the issues of chapter 6? Only that what you have.
I submitted to the office what I had because of the what was in the possession.
You've submitted.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
passed it
Now, I want to ask you one question, another question. Have you ever been removed from office for the contravention of any of the provisions of Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010?
None that I'm aware of. I would want to confirm to this that I've not been convicted of any offense that might require my discharge or dismissal from any employment. All those that I've left is because of progression in professional matters. Because in that questionnaire, I've mentioned that I've worked in close to 3 law firms.
Okay.
I've been moving from one law firm to another because of entirely work progression, not anything related with integrity issues as captured in articles in Article 6, Article 10 of the Constitution of Kenya.
Thank you, Ken. Have you ever been reported to Kenya Advocates Complaint Commission?
Yes, I've been.
You've been reported?
Yes.
Oh, how did it go?
I was admonished. It was a lapse of duty. I'd not conveyed the progress of a litigation matter to a client, and the client felt briefed and reported me to the disciplinary committee, and the disciplinary committee did not find merit in that particular complaint.
Okay.
I was able to acquit myself and explain why there was a lapse.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll now hand over to the Vice Chair of this committee, Honorable Ogendo, who will be able to take you to the next set of questions. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Pundo, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair.
Yeah. Have you ever been charged in any court of law?
Yes, I was. I've been. Yes.
What happened?
There was a land that was Kisumu Municipal Council then. Dispute as to the issue of legal fees.
Okay.
Legal fees, yes. There's a dispute between me and my client then, the Municipal Council of Kisumu, the defunct Municipal Council of Kisumu.
But have you ever been investigated by EACC, DCI?
No, EACC, no.
The National Assembly, Senate, or County Assemblies?
The Senate has, because there's been an audit issue that I was entitled to between me and Municipal Council of Kisumu then.
The Senate investigated you?
They didn't investigate me because they did not summon me. There was some payment that was paid towards my fees that raised an audit query. Subsequent payments were approved by the Senate.
Okay.
Yes.
Kindly, you may state to this panel maybe sources and amounts of received by you, mostly your nomination and in the current calendar year.
In regard to my sources of income, they're work related. They're mostly client and client advocate remuneration. For some time, I've been having some long-standing dispute between municipal council and myself. There've been
Mr. Pundo,
Yes.
I want you to just...
Yeah.
Mr. Leader Majority, can you please reframe the question so that he takes it once again?
Okay.
Just answer the question as been asked. Answer them the way they've been asked.
Yes.
I just wanted to know
your
sources of income, and could be, but in general,
Yes.
what is your net worth?
My net worth, as stated there, is 100 million.
100 million?
Yep.
Can you inform this panel, maybe the sources, the assets and liabilities that you have?
Yes. The major income has been the court awards regarding the fees that was entitled, in the case that I was alluding to before the speaker came into. I was awarded a court award of around 200 million in regards to my work that I've done, and in the course of the year I received 50 million out of the proceeds regarding that decretal amount. I also have some properties that, one in Nairobi and another in Kisumu. I also have some contingency liabilities which are at personal levels that I've also I shall also be declaring. So in the course of the year, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Leader Majority. I'll give the other panelist, Honorable Ongoro, to take you through the set of questions which are lined up.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Are you affiliated to any political party? If yes, how will you navigate between the politics and discharging your duty in the public service?
Yes, I've been a member of the dominant party within this region, giving pro bono services to members of the ODM during, when required, particularly on litigation matters. During the last Mandamano, we were a cohort of lawyers that offered themselves to give pro bono services for those that were arrested and probably and arraigned in court in pursuit of exercise of their right to assembly. So my level of engagement has also then been quite professional. As and when required, I always give pro bono services to the local party branch in Kisumu. So it is at that level that I've engaged politically.
For only ODM?
Yes, for only ODM. I'm a bit biased when it comes to political affiliation, and also my loyalty is railroaded. I don't offer a loyalty that is conflicting.
Okay. And you offered pro bono services to the Gen Zs who are demonstrating?
No, the agencies, they say they were leaderless, they are faceless, so it was very hard to probably engage them. You could not be able to engage a leaderless and faceless entity. For them, they did not. For them, LSK was doing that, but then LSK did not engage me in this. But for the Mandamanos of last year's, which was spearheaded by the party, I was an active participant. But for the Gen Zs, I think there's a cadre of lawyers who are the same age of theirs that probably they retained instructions for.
Okay, is there any family member or other persons, parties, categories of litigations or financial arrangement that are likely to present potential conflict of interest if you are approved?
In this regard, I don't see any, because there's none that I'm aware of. Until today, there's none that I'm aware of. There's no conflict of interest that might likely arise, that might compromise my objectivity and probably my partiality. There's none to my knowledge.
Okay. How well equipped are you to execute this new mandate if given this opportunity, and what will you do differently?
I would be a bit innovative in regard to what the Employment Act requires of me for the prospective persons that would want to take this particular job. And probably the provisions of Article 41 of the Constitution regarding employment law and the Employment Act and institutions related, like the special division of employment court, the court, Kisumu court. I would adhere to compliance of procedures and substantive law when regarding issues of hire, firing, and stuff. What I would probably mind, and probably in unbiasedness, because locally I'm not affiliated to any person, but I would want the best for this party, for the institutions to be the institutions that are mandated by the law to work effectively within the provisions of the law and not work in a way that compromises the law. So basically, because of my background in law, I would be much into the law, its applicability, and probably to avoid any breach that might occasion, and to avoid as less as possible the issue of litigation that arises from the processes that are mandated with. So I would bring freshness, I would bring unbiasedness, I would also bring professionalism from those 28 years that I've been at the litigation level.
Thank you. Finally, if this committee approved your name in nomination, what will be your term in office?
My term? My term?
Your term in office.
My term in office, I'll be serving at the pleasure of what the appointing instrument displays. If it says 1 year, so if it says 1 month, so. But within that period that I shall have been asked to serve, if I shall have been given the nod from your able committee, I will serve to the time and period that I've been asked to. I'll be working at the pleasure of my employing authority, and within the law, the period that is stipulated.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ongoro. Mr. Pundo, allow me to give the opportunity to Honorable Awaka, who will also take you through a set of questions. Honorable Awaka, please proceed.
Speaker, before he takes over, you had promised to have my table with lots of water. I've not seen any. I was supposed to be given some water by the gentleman. Can I be able to refresh it?
Sorry for that, Ken.
What is that in front of me?
Just one. Don't get the whole packet. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Pundo.
Good afternoon, sir.
What are some of your strengths that makes you fit for this position? Can I come up again?
Is that single question or you?
Yes.
Okay, fine. My strength is basically my experience. 28 years of litigation and 20 years of interacting at different levels. I think I've engaged quite a medley of persons that have enriched my experience as a person. And I think that I've been able to engage at all cadres, all levels of people. Even if you see at my CV, I've been able to engage quite highly at the Court of Appeal, the court, the Apex Court, the Supreme Court. So 28, I'm coming with a solid 28 years of experience that might be able to enrich not only myself, but then probably the persons that might seek my services and my advice. So what I have is those 28 years, nothing more, nothing less.
Thank you. Mr. Pundo, if you get favor from this committee, you will be in a position to vet secretary to the County Public Service Board. Now, my question is, what do you think is a unique requirement for such post?
Such post one, it's age. Secondly, the experience that the person brings in. Thirdly is the innovation that the person might bring in as well. And also probably what does the law, because basically my area will be on the legal and the statutes that relate, that might facilitate a seamless delivery of service that is expected of that person. I would expect somebody who has read the law, who knows that some of those decisions are law-binding, and some of them might be using discretion, some of them cross-cut from the executive arm to the legislative arm. I would expect a person who is a bit on top of the game in terms of legal provision, because hiring, firing, and stuff are all regulated first by the law. Then other considerations come in. I would expect somebody who is well-versed with the law. I would be much biased and prejudiced when it comes to the issues of law. That is where I would actually require the strength of the person. In conjunction with other panelists that we might be sitting with, I think those are the panelists who have come before me, might be experts, might be having expertise in areas that are not legal, not basically legal. I believe I'm the only person nominated that has a legal background in it. I would expect at least a basic knowledge of the Employment Act. I would expect a basic knowledge of the county, the County Government Act, vis-a-vis the Constitution. I think those should be my bare minimum in terms of threshold.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wakili, you've just mentioned about the Government Act, the Constitution.
Yes.
Both instruments gives County Public Service Board functions and powers to operate. Could you please illuminate us on some of the functions and the powers of the County Public Service Board in your own understanding? Kindly.
Thank you, thank you. I've had the pleasure of representing the county government of Homa Bay in a matter that they were sued by some interested parties. I think there's a petition that was filed just when the regime was coming in. I think they were contesting some hiring of some certain officers that was done and procedurally before Justice Radido. I happen to have represented the county government of Homa Bay. I think the matter was settled.
Ken?
Yes.
We want to just be precise to the questions that have been asked.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, please.
I thought.
Yeah, please.
Sorry for diverting. I thought I was giving you. Okay, fine. Then can you refresh for purpose of clarity? What?
Thank you.
Yes.
I asked you, Wakili, that you've mentioned the County Government Act and the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
Yes.
And I've said the two instruments gives County Public Service Board powers and also defines their functions.
Yes.
So I've asked you to illuminate us on some of the functions and powers of the County Public Service Board.
Thank you, thank you. Now I get the grasp of it. I was just giving a historical background of it. But then the county board has been vested with the powers to hire and fire, and also to take disciplinary actions on deviant members of the public service. The Public Service Board is an autonomous arm of the county government that is charged solely with the hiring and firing of members of the service board, especially the Public Service Board. Am I clear?
Are you done? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Okili, one of the functions and powers of the County Public Service Board is to promote in the County Public Service Board the values and principles referred to in Article 10 and Article 232 of the Kenya Constitution 2010. Now, Okili, kindly highlight this committee on the values you may know and also the principles.
Fine. That is a statutory body that hires and fires. In pursuit of their mandate to hire, they look for integrity, they look for eligibility, they look for ability, and they also look at a semblance of uniformity and fairness in hiring. They'll take into account that the face of representation is not inclined or does not promote nepotism or parochial interest. They would, in terms of disciplinary, they will also accord fair hearing process and due process accorded to members under the charge. The hearing committee also looks at the welfare of members of the membership under its purview. So in that regard, I submit that it is an autonomous body charged with the welfare and hiring of its members, and also disciplinary processes that is accorded to it for those that are defiant in a manner. I don't know whether that satisfies your inquiry.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Allow me to stop there, kindly.
Thank you, Honorable Waka. Mr. Wakili Ken.
Yes.
I'll give the Leader of Majority once more to ask you another set of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Wakili, what is your understanding of the provisions of Section 59A of the County Government Act 2012 on the independence of County Public Service Board?
My understanding is that in execution of its duties, execution of the mandate that is provided under the said provision, they shall not take instructions or be subject to control of any third parties in discharge of their duties at any given time. They ought to be impartial, they ought to be non-partisan, they ought not to take sides that promote division or parochial interest within They should be as as clean as the Caesar's wife in terms of discharge of their role as stipulated in that particular section. Impartiality.
Okay. You did say that you come from Kanyadoto.
Yes.
Kanyadoto location or ward?
Kanyadoto location.
Kanyadoto location.
Yes. So there's a ward, I think it. No, I come from Kanyadoto ward, but that my location is Kabura.
You come from Kabura location, Kanyadoto ward.
Yes.
Do you know the name of MCA for Kanyadoto ward?
I do.
Can you tell this panel?
Mr. Apopo.
Honorable Apopo.
Honorable Apopo, yes.
Lentana. Or another name?
Lantana. That's true.
Okay.
Yes.
And Kanyadoto is in which sub-county?
It is in Dewa sub-county.
And they were. How many sub-counties do we have in Homa Bay County?
9, I'm not very sure, but I think it's 9 today. 9 or 12. I'm not very sure, but if you offer me time, I can mention them name by name. If,
can you mention? I just want to hear.
There is Dewa that I come from. There is Rangwe. There is Homa Bay. There is Karachuonyo. There is Kasipul. There is Rangwe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is what else?
Kabondo.
Kabondo? Yes, Kabondo.
Yeah. So you've gotten maybe more than half. Thank you. So in Homa Bay, how many wards do we have?
I've failed on the sub. I may not be able to know the wards that are, but I think it's over 40 or 50 or something like that. I'm not very sure. I cannot be very precise on it. But
Okay.
It's quite a big number.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
No, thank you. I'll take the last question. You represent, in the panel, each and every nominee represent a professional body.
Yes.
There are those representing the local community, the business community,
Yes.
the unions, professional bodies. So which body nominated you to be in this panel?
Law Society.
Law Society of Kenya.
Yes.
That's fine. I want to ask you the last question. Article 35 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, provides that every person has the right to access to information.
Yes.
In a scenario whereby, Wakili, you've been approved by this assembly to be a member of the selection panel, and in your meeting, chaired by the chairman and the panelists and the members of the panel are sitting. Then after the meeting, you leave for Kanyadoto. And then on the way, you meet the county secretary on your way to Kanyadoto. And then he asks you where you've come from. Then you probably will tell him that you've come from a meeting of the panel. Then he further asks you what you are discussing in the panel. How will you handle that situation?
Well, these are information that I've delivered or given to this committee under oath. And I know that the rules that bind me, information that I've acquired under confidentiality, I'm not obliged to divulge them to any other person, either willingly or under probe. Under that article, a person that is interested in getting access to the information that comes as a result of this deliberation has ways of seeking that. He has either to write, and then probably if the committee is willing to divulge that information, because the information that comes from this is not mine. It's now owned by the committee of this House. my private dealings with any person that wants to seek this might not be limited to what I've divulged. What I divulge is protected under the same particular act because it has to be verified, it has to be corroborated, but it can only be corroborated if it is minuted and given out. So if there's any information that I might divulge outside, it will not be official, it is not binding, it is not information given pursuant to the provisions that you've just cited. So it will be a banter, a tete-a-tete, or something like what you call a palaver. It is not an informal information that can be binding to the person who receives that information. But since I've been under that oath, I've sworn that that information stays within the four walls of this committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wakili, we have come to the close of this exercise that we are doing.
Yes.
We have come to the end of this exercise, and the committee will retreat to do a report which they will table before the members of the County Assembly, where the members will debate for approval or not approving. So hopefully, if you are lucky enough, you may be considered. So before you go, is there anything that you'd want us to know, or information that you want us to know that will help us judge you as most suitable for the position that we are appearing?
There isn't much information that I've not divulged, though the information that is relevant to this particular selection committee, I've willingly and able to divulge without any coercion, without any prompting from any person. I was not given prior information. I was not coached to come and see anything else. I've given it out, what I say that will assist you make a decision that might lead to the retention of myself as look at my nomination with favor. Team that builds Homa Bay County to greater. I want to be associated with this assembly and the county government, that during their tenure we were able to deliver a suitable candidate as secretary to the service board. Those are my prayers and submissions. I have nothing else to add. I have nothing else to subtract.
Thank you so much. From our end, we want to wish you all the best. I believe you've done your best, and as a committee, we want to show you that we're very fair, and we'll bring the report that is very much considerate for the members of the Assembly to debate on. Otherwise, thank you so much. Before you leave, can you check whether the documents that you gave us are all intact? Yeah, okay, okay. Then you want to say you have the pleasure to leave at any time you want. Others, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Speaker. Thank you, Vice Speaker, the members of the panel, all present. I wish you a good day.
Thank you.
If we meet again, it'll be my pleasure to engage you.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Members, this brings us to the end of this exercise. I want us to retreat to my office. You are aware that after this, we are proceeding to do a report writing, which starts tomorrow morning, so that we may be able to finish the work and hand over the report, present the report to the plenary on Tuesday. God willing. Otherwise, the meeting stands adjourned.